Welcome to IELTS.net podcast. Mastering IELTS Speaking, how to describe a subject you didn't like at school but are interested in now. As an experienced IELTS examiner, I understand the challenges candidates face when tackling the speaking test. Today, we'll explore a common topic in IELTS Speaking, Part 2. Describe a subject you didn't like at school but are interested in now. This topic has appeared in various forms in past IELTS exams and is likely to continue being relevant in future tests. Part 1. Introduction and Interview. In Part 1, the examiner may ask you general questions about your education and interests. Here are some potential questions related to our topic. What subjects did you study at school? Were there any subjects you particularly disliked? Have your interests changed since leaving school? Let's look at a sample answer for question 2. Examiner. Were there any subjects you particularly disliked? Candidate. Yes, I remember not enjoying history classes much. I found it quite boring to memorize dates and events from the past. Absolutely. I particularly struggled with history during my school years. The rote learning approach of memorizing countless dates and events failed to captivate my interest. I often found myself zoning out during these lessons, unable to see the relevance to my daily life. Part 2. Long Turn. Now let's move on to Part 2, where you'll be given a cue card with a topic to speak about for 1 to 2 minutes. Here's a sample cue card based on our theme. Describe a subject you didn't like at school but are interested in now. You should say what the subject was, why you didn't like it at school, how you became interested in it later, and explain how your attitude towards this subject has changed. Sample answer, band 6 to 7. The subject I want to talk about is physics. When I was in high school, I really struggled with physics. I found the formulas confusing and the concepts hard to grasp. I remember feeling overwhelmed by all the calculations and theories we had to learn. I think the main reason I didn't like physics was because of the way it was taught. Our teacher was very strict and focused mostly on memorizing formulas rather than understanding the practical applications. This made the subject seem boring and irrelevant to me. However, a few years after graduating, I stumbled upon some interesting YouTube videos about physics in everyday life. These videos explained complex concepts in a simple and engaging way. I was fascinated by how physics could explain so many things around us, from how airplanes fly to how smartphones work. My attitude towards physics has changed dramatically. Now, I see it as an incredibly interesting and useful subject. I've even started reading popular science books about physics in my free time. It's amazing how a subject I once dreaded has become a source of fascination for me now. Sample answer, band 8-9. The subject I'd like to discuss is physics, which I found utterly perplexing during my high school years. Back then, I perceived it as an impenetrable fortress of complex formulas and abstract concepts that seemed to have little relevance to my daily life. My aversion to physics stemmed primarily from the pedagogical approach employed in our classes. Our instructor, though knowledgeable, adhered rigidly to a curriculum that prioritized rote memorization over conceptual understanding. This didactic method left me feeling disengaged and demoralized, unable to appreciate the subject's real-world applications. However, my perspective underwent a radical transformation several years post-graduation. I serendipitously encountered a series of online lectures by renowned physicists who eloquently elucidated complex theories using everyday examples. These presentations ignited a spark of curiosity within me, revealing the profound impact of physics on our understanding of the universe. This newfound interest propelled me to delve deeper into the subject. I began voraciously consuming popular science literature and attending public lectures on physics. The more I learned, the more I realized how short-sighted my previous attitude had been. Physics, I now understand, is not just a collection of formulas, but a powerful lens through which we can scrutinize and comprehend the fundamental workings of our world. My journey with physics serves as a poignant reminder of how our interests and passions can evolve over time. It has taught me the importance of approaching subjects with an open mind and seeking out diverse learning resources. What was once a source of frustration has become a wellspring of intellectual stimulation and wonder. fundamentally altering my perception of the natural world. Follow-up questions. How has your interest in physics affected your daily life? Do you think schools should change how they teach subjects like physics? Sample answer, Band 6-7. My interest in physics has made me more curious about the world around me. I often find myself thinking about the physics behind everyday things, like how a car engine works or why the sky is blue. As for schools, I think they should try to make physics more interesting and practical for students. Maybe they could include more experiments and real-life examples in their lessons. Sample answer, Band 8-9. My newfound passion for physics has profoundly influenced my worldview and daily interactions. I now approach problem-solving with a more analytical mindset, considering underlying principles and cause-effect relationships. This scientific perspective has enhanced my critical thinking skills and made me more adept at deciphering complex systems in both personal and professional contexts. Regarding education, I believe schools should fundamentally reconsider their approach to teaching physics and similar subjects. The current system often prioritizes standardized testing over fostering genuine understanding and curiosity. Instead, educators should strive to contextualize abstract concepts within relatable scenarios, incorporate hands-on experiments, and emphasize the subject's real-world applications. This approach would not only make the subject more engaging, but also cultivate a lifelong interest in scientific inquiry among students. Part 3. Two-way discussion. In Part 3, the examiner will ask more abstract questions related to the topic. Here are some potential questions and sample answers. Do you think people's interests change naturally as they get older? Candidate: Yes, I think people's interests often change as they grow older. This might be because of new experiences they have or changes in their life situations. For example, someone might become interested in cooking after living alone for the first time. Absolutely. I believe that the evolution of personal interests is an intrinsic part of human development. As individuals accumulate life experiences and expand their horizons, their perspectives inevitably shift, leading to the emergence of new interests and the waning of others. This process is often catalyzed by significant life events, such as entering the workforce, traveling to new places, or starting a family. Moreover, our cognitive development continues well into adulthood, potentially altering our capacity to engage with and appreciate different subjects. This natural progression underscores the importance of lifelong learning and maintaining an open mind towards new interests throughout our lives. How can schools make boring subjects more interesting for students? Candidate: Band 6-7. Schools could try to make boring subjects more interesting by using more interactive methods. They could include more group activities or practical projects in their lessons. Also, using technology like educational apps or videos might help make subjects more engaging for students. Candidate: Band 8-9. To transform ostensibly boring subjects into engaging learning experiences, schools should adopt a multifaceted approach. Firstly, they could incorporate project-based learning, allowing students to apply theoretical knowledge to real-world scenarios, thereby demonstrating the subject's relevance and practical utility. Additionally, leveraging technology through interactive simulations, virtual reality experiences, or gamification can make abstract concepts more tangible and appealing. Furthermore, schools should foster interdisciplinary connections, illustrating how seemingly dull subjects intersect with more exciting fields. For instance, demonstrating the application of mathematics in music or physics in sports can spark interest among diverse student groups. Encouraging student-led inquiries and promoting critical thinking over rote memorization can also cultivate genuine curiosity. Lastly, bringing in guest speakers or organizing field trips can provide students with inspiring real-world context, potentially igniting a lifelong passion for the subject. Key vocabulary and phrases for high scores. To achieve a high score in IELTS speaking, it's crucial to use a wide range of vocabulary and complex sentence structures. Here are some key terms and phrases that can help elevate your responses. Pedagogical approach, pedo-prooch, noun, the method and practice of teaching. Example: the pedagogical approach in my physics class focused heavily on memorization. Intrinsic in sick adjective, belonging naturally, essential. Example, my interest in physics is now an intrinsic part of who I am. Catalyst, noun, something that causes an important event to happen. Example, those YouTube videos were the catalyst for my renewed interest in physics. Paradigm shift, noun, a fundamental change in approach or underlying assumptions. Example, learning about quantum mechanics caused a paradigm shift in my understanding of physics. Voraciously, adverb, in a way that wants or devours great quantities. Example, I began voraciously reading everything I could find about physics. Examiner's advice. To excel in the IELTS speaking test, particularly when discussing a subject you didn't like but now find interesting, consider the following tips. Reflect on your personal journey. Prepare by thinking deeply about how and why your interests have changed. This self-reflection will help you provide authentic and detailed responses. Use a variety of tenses. Your answer will naturally require you to talk about the past, present, and possibly the future. Practice using different tenses accurately to showcase your language skills. Employ descriptive language. Use vivid adjectives and adverbs to bring your experiences to life and engage the examiner. Demonstrate critical thinking. Don't just describe what happened, analyze why your interest changed and what impact this has had on you. Practice coherent structuring. Organize your thoughts logically, using clear transitions between ideas to ensure your response flows smoothly. Remember, the key to success in IELTS speaking is not just about what you say, but how you say it. Aim for fluency, coherence, and a natural conversation style while showcasing your language abilities. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, make sure to follow our channel so you don't miss out on more valuable content coming your way. We've got a lot of exciting topics lined up, and we'd love for you to be part of the journey. Hit that follow button and stay connected with us for more insights and inspiration. See you in the next episode.